Are you saying that his words, the mere words, you can beat this, you can overcome it, somehow interfered with the free will of these people?
Yes.
And of course, you're not a psychiatrist.
Correct.
You're not a psychologist.
No.
You didn't interview these people.
No.
You don't know their names.
No.
You didn't listen to their testimony.
No.
You don't have any idea as to what they told this jury, correct? So you're guessing.
I'm giving you my story.
Your story.
My testimony, yes.
Well, but you're guessing because you don't know all those facts I just outlined, correct? Have to be a guess. Correct?
It's my testimony.
But you're guessing, correct?
At
I
what?
understand your testimony.
I don't know what the question is.
All right.
I'm guessing what?
Did you know any of the participants
I didn't
in the
know any
Sweat
of the
Lodge in
participants.
2009?
No.
Did you interview any participant during their experience in 2009?
No.
Have you listened to any of their testimony in this courtroom in 2011?
No.
You're making an assumption that somehow Mr. Ray was able to coerce them to stay in the Sweat Lodge based simply on words. Is that your testimony?
Not my complete testimony, but yes.
And you would agree with me, you have no foundation for that, correct? But you want this jury to believe it.
I would not agree that I have no foundation.
Well, the foundation is what?
Can you rephrase the question?
You said you wouldn't agree you didn't have foundation to draw that conclusion. I'm asking you what the foundation is.
Because when people are unconscious, they don't have free will. When people can't get their body to move, even if they want it to, they don't have free will. When the door's not open, they couldn't leave. So their free will, I would say, was limited by whether the door was open, whether they could get their body to move, and whether or not they were not passed out. And I believe that James' words convinced people.
Your Honor, may the witness finish?
Just a minute, Judge. It's my witness.
Your Honor,
Ms. Mercer.
Mr. Kelly interrupted the witness.
I believe you may finish your answer, ma'am.
I believe that James' words convinced people to stay beyond what they knew their body could take.
Okay. And first of all, as to people who were unconscious, James' words would have no impact on them, correct?
Not once they're unconscious. Before,
so
yes.
My questions were directed towards the people who were not unconscious.
Okay.
And is it your testimony then that it's his words that kept those people in there?
Yeah.
That was a later conversation?
That was after I left where the people were and walked over to where James was. Actually, I ran over to where James was and said, I need to find Megan. I need a phone. 3 people aren't breathing. We need to call an ambulance.
And Judge, what I would ask to do is play clip 1 of Exhibit 895 marked for identification, but it is a portion of Exhibit 672, which has been admitted into evidence. It's page 1, lines 9 through 22. It's the 911 call.
We're playing the 911 call?
A clip off of it.
No objection.
Okay. Then that clip will be played.
Okay, is this result of a shooting or something?
No, it was a sweat lodge.
A sweat lodge?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
The girl's unconscious, no pulse and no breathing.
All right, you there by yourself?
No, there's a lot of people here.
Okay. All right, we'll get him out of the sweat lodge for one thing.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
There's a nurse there.
All right. Oh, there is a nurse?
There's a nurse. She told me to call an ambulance.
Ms. Mercer, on Exhibit 672, you told the 911 dispatcher that it was the nurse who told you to call 911, correct?
Correct.
And the nurse that you're speaking of is a nurse who was a Dream Team member, correct?
Correct.
And the one rendering aid, correct?
Yes.
Now, when you go back, is that when you had the conversation with Mr. Ray? When you go back to the scene of the accident, is that when you have the conversation?
After I called 911, no,
As before?
yes.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Your testimony today is you speak to the nurse says call Megan, you speak to Ted says call 911, and then you stop by and see Mr. Ray and ask him what to do?
I asked him where Megan was because I believed she had a phone. I believed she had a cell phone on the scene, so that was why I was trying.
And so then he shrugs his shoulders and says, when you ask him where's Megan, he says, I don't know. Correct?
I said that there's 3 people not breathing. We need to call an ambulance. Where's Megan?
And he said, I don't know.
Yes.
And then you make the call and you tell the dispatcher the nurse told you to call.
I said that, but I was just answering her question at the time. The nurse did not tell me to call.
It is different than a spiritual Native American sweat lodge, correct?
Yes.
You told us that it was extreme, long challenge, like a gauntlet, correct?
Yes.
And Native Americans, you understand that that's a challenge, a gauntlet, correct? Did you know that? It's a Native American term.
No.
That's where 2 people line up with various weapons and you try to run through and make it through a gauntlet. It's a Native American ceremony. Did you know that?
I think my recollection of the gauntlet was something from a movie, but no, I didn't know the origin of the term.
And these people in this photograph had just completed one of these JRI corporate exercises that pushed them to the limits, correct?
Correct.
And you would not anticipate that they would come out of that sweat lodge happy and cheerful like the brief Native American sweat lodges you described, correct?
Can you say that again?
You described Native American sweat lodges that were an hour and a half in length, 4 rounds where they left the door open. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And they added water by pouring water in a ladle in
Yes.
the rocks, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you told us that these were more extreme, they were longer, they were more challenging, they were like a gauntlet, correct?
Yes.
And they were not as loving as the ceremonies that you would like to see, correct?
They weren't conducted as a group. It was more like you're on your own journey, that you take care of yourself instead of going in as a group.
You actually used that word loving. They
Yes.
were not as loving,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And you personally, and we all have our preferences, but you personally you like the loving ceremonies, correct?
I was there to support people on their journeys, whatever they did. I did hot male nude yoga, and I don't have an opinion on whether I would do that, but I set up their ceremonies and helped them.
So it's a real simple question.
Yes.
You prefer the loving ceremonies, correct?
Yes.
And you understand that someone can take a look at the San Francisco peaks here in central Arizona, and if you're a Navajo, you may identify them as part of your spiritual beliefs. Do you understand that?
Yes.
One of the 3 corners of the Navajo Nation. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Sustain.
Other people may look at the San Francisco peaks and say, those are the highest mountains in Arizona, and I want to climb them, correct?
Yes.
And in exercising free will, a person can either worship those mountains or climb the mountains, correct?
Yes.
And if you climb the mountains, you assume the risk of injury in climbing, correct?
That would depend.
And if you climb the mountains, such as Denali or Everest, you may even assume the risk of death, correct?
But if I climbed, I'm sorry, can I go on? Can I answer the question? If I climbed Denali or Everest, I wouldn't do it alone. I would pay a guide to take me.
Are you saying that you have to pay a guide to climb the San Francisco peaks?
I don't know how.
Do you have to pay a guide to ride a motorcycle?
Me, I would. I haven't.
Do you have to
ridden
pay a
motorcycle.
guide to run a river?
I would.
Do you have to pay a guide to run a marathon?
I would. I've never run a marathon.
Do you have to pay a guide to go in a sweat lodge?
Do you have to pay a guide to go into a sweat lodge?
Is that
No,
your
usually
testimony?
they're not paid for.
So if a person is exercising free will in any of those activities, then they're going to assume the risk of their conduct, correct?
No objection to the foundation.
Sustained.
And we can pull them and you can study them if you'd like, but I didn't see any evidence on the ground in any of those photographs that someone had thrown up. Did you?
No.
Now, you're probably thinking, well, the water could wash some of that away, correct?
I'm thinking it would be difficult to tell, and the amount they threw up wasn't gobs. It wasn't usually like buckets. It was like the green icky stuff.
Okay.
Smaller amounts.
But my question is
But
real
I don't know
simple.
that you could see that or not.
Well,
But
let's-
I'm not going to argue with you.
Let's blow up a portion close to the ground right in there. See, when I've blown them up, I can't find any vomit anywhere. And then my question to you, can you point out to this jury any place where you can identify the vomit that you told this detective about on October 9th, 2009?
No.
Okay. Now, I don't see 40 people in distress either. Do you?
No.
And I don't see anyone with their eyes rolled back. Do you?
I can't tell from this picture.
Now, one thing, and I think
But I
it's...
know what was going on, so... I mean, the picture is a moment in time, whereas I was experiencing the whole time.
The lady looks healthy, correct?
Yes and no.
She does?
Well, she looks healthy, but
Okay.
when you talk to people and they don't know their name or what day it is, that's when you...
Who is this lady?
I don't know.
Did you talk to her?
I believe I did. I don't know. I know I talked to a lot of people who didn't know who they were after being out at the sweat lodge.
That lady looks pretty healthy, correct?
The one standing up.
Okay, well, you don't know about the one laying down, do you?
I don't think that's fair. You can ask me what this one feels like and not say, and ask my assumption of this one and not my assumption of this one. Why can I make an assumption?
I'm
Why
gonna
do you
just-
want my assumption of this one?
What,
Miss
I'll
Mercer, we're going
rephrase
to
it.
have a question and an answer in that format.
the lady standing up at 8:59, would she cause you any reason to call 911?
No.
Would she cause you any reason to believe that there was some alarm on your part as to her well-being?
No.
But the lady laying down that you identified, did you call 911?
No.
Did she cause you some type of alarm, concern?
Yes.
Then why didn't you call 911?
It's James Ray's International's event. And before I did call 911 on the
This
evening of
ticket-
the sweat lodge.
Your
You
Honor,
didn't-
can the witness finish her answer, please?
Your Honor, she answered the question.
No, Your Honor,
She said
Mr.
it's a narrative.
Had you completed your answer to the
No.
question? You may complete
May I
it.
rephrase it? Did you call 911 for the lady that was laying
Your Honor,
down in
objection.
this photograph?
Your Honor, the witness had started to answer. Mr. Kelly cut her off. The court sustained my objection, and I would like the witness to be able to finish her answer.
There was a standing question, and you may answer that.
You didn't call 911, did you?
I called 911 after it was apparent the people who were in charge were not taking that action.